Hello everyone and welcome to this part of the video. So today we will be understanding what is the BPM flow because we know that what is the BPM business process management and why industries organizations are using it. Now we need to understand what is the BPM flow, like how to make it and what are the components of it. Right. So basically it's a kind of diagram which will tell you that which flow needs to be followed when the particular process is getting initiated. And what I mean when I say process is getting initiated, it means when that task is happening, then in the back end, what flow is being triggered and what are the things that happens in between from start till end. And let's say there is a user and that user needs to access something. So for that, they have requested for that. Let's say there is a user in a company and that users need a notepad, right? So what to do when a user needs a notepad? So first user needs to come to the store and user needs to submit a form, a request form to get the notepad, right? So he will fill all the details that this is what I want, this is what I want, and this is done by user. So it's a user input task. It's basically a manual task which is done by user. And when this is completed, that particular user will drop the task and the form which he filled to the uh, like the department. And what the department manager needs to do, department manager needs to see that form, whatever user have put it inside the details of it. And then department manager will see that okay, he needs a notepad, he needs this and this, and either department manager will approve it or it will decline, because if there are something which is not available in the stock, then DM will decline it, right? So this thing, let's say the user will submit and the DM will approve it, then it will again go back to the requester and requester will pick up the details, pick up the required things from the store, right? And the process will end after that. It will go to end node, right? So this is a single simple use case. So same example we have taken a different kind of thing. So it's a purchasing clerk activity. So you see these two lanes are there. So what do we call these lanes? These are called swim lanes, right? So what we are doing now, we are understanding that this diagram, how this diagram is built and what are the activities happening inside this diagram. What do we call this? What do we call this? These, what are these things? So these things are called nodes. Nodes can be of multiple different time. Let's say uh, this is a start node, right? Because from this node, the process is getting started. This is the very first node, the step one. So it's just a step by step representation of what needs to be done. That's it, right? That is the BPM flow, step by step representation of what needs to be done in the business process. So in this business process, purchasing clerks needs to submit a request, and that request, he needs to fill this request and submit this. That's why it is under this swim lane. It is under swim lane for purchasing clerk. And when this particular request is submitted, it will go to this particular node. After step 2, we have this step 3, which is approving the request. So we have the manager, which is requester manager, which is the swim lane. For requester manager means whatever task is happening in this swim lane, it's for manager, right? And after approving this request, either manager can approve it or manager can decline it. So what is this thing in between? This is called a decision node, right? What is this decision? So if you are from a technical background, then you must be aware about this thing. But let me explain you what this is. So let me erase this stuff here and let me tell you what gateways are. So basically it's a electronics kind of term, and this is basically the decision maker things. So we have different type of decision nodes in any of the BPM. So we have OR, we have XOR, we have AND, we have complex. So what is this OR? OR is basically multiple. In this, multiple can be incoming and multiple can be outgoing at once. So that is OR. XOR is multiple incoming can be multiple, but outgoing will always be single. It means either this one or this one. Only one particular path will follow. Right? In this scenario, this particular path will follow. This will not be followed because it's a XOR gateway, means execution will always be one. Right? So whenever we need to give the decision in BPM flows, we use gateways. Right now I'm using XOR and this is the symbol of XOR, this cross. Right? BPM tool can be anything. It can be a Appian, Pega, or any other BPM tool, but these are the gateways which will always be there. Similar kind of thing, right? And these are the user input task. We may call this user form, user task, manual task, human task, but the thing is same, right? And this is the start node, and these are the end nodes, means the node where the process ends. Start node can be single, but end nodes can be multiple. You see that the process is ending if this is not approved. So this is one end node. The process is ending when the purchase is also happening. This is second end node, right? So end nodes can be multiple, start node can be single. And you can see that now I choose yes. Now it will go to this swim lane again and it will go for the requester. Requester will now purchase it because it is already approved. And then it can go to end node. So this is a very basic example of how the BPM flow works and what is the design which we need to build. So these swim lanes are mandatory because these swim lanes specify that whatever is mentioned in between these places, this is for which user. It's automated task, it's for manager, it's for purchaser, whatever is. We can mention the name here at this place, right? So we can mention that according to our use case. So it's important to note and to put these swim lanes, right? So in this scenario, we have two swim lanes, one and two. And we have these nodes, user input task, start node, and decision, and end node. Let's say there is one more scenario. My client will say that, okay, my request is approved. Now I wanted to, whenever an order is placed, I wanted to notify that user via mail. So what I will do in that scenario, I can put a node here and that will be email node, right? So what it will do after this order is placed, it will go to this and this will initiate a mail. So this is my use case, right? I wanted a mail. My clients wants a mail. That's why I put it after this. Let's say client wants that when it is declined also, then also I want a mail. Then I will put the node input here, email node here. So it will send the decline email, right? So it depends on your use case. Maybe your use case wants after this approval there will be one more approval, then you need to create one more swim lane, third swim lane, and then you need to approve it via some other approver, and then it will then decide it will go to end or it will not go to end. So according to you, your use case, you need to build it, and it can be anything. It can be a very short process like this, or it can be huge amount of process like 10, 20 swim lanes, multiple email nodes, multiple processes, multiple approvals, and multiple gateways. It can be anything, and it also depends on the technical compatibility of the tool. Let's say to build this, I am using some tool called Appian, right? So we will see that we'll talk about that tool later on in the upcoming videos. But this is a BPM tool, so I can build this, and email functionality is available in that, so I can build it. But let's say there is a tool called Uncork, and email functionality is not there. So the developer will tell them that this functionality is not there. Let's use something else. Let's use SMS or any other thing. So depends on your need, your technical compatibility, your choice of tool. You need to design the flow, and that can be done by process designer. So this designing which I'm doing here, this will be done by process designer, right? And he can take help of architect if he need to check some technical compatibility, some design thing, and it will be completed. So let's all up. This is basically all about the BPM flow, and this is how we will be creating the diagram. And let's talk more about what tools are there, how we need to use it, and everything about it to build a career in the BPM. So that's all about this video, and let's catch up in the next one. Thank you.